Today we're going to cover these 7 tips that you need to know when starting a CNC-based business. These are tips that I've learned the hard way over the last 10 years. This comes from so much headache, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. So stick around, these tips are gold, and I hope they help you a lot. Tip number 1. This tip is by far, bar none, the most important thing. If you get nothing else from this video, just follow this one tip, and that is just pick one product or one product line. I cannot stress this enough. A CNC can do so many things. It can do 3D carves, you can put a lathe on it, you can cut, nest, all kinds of crazy stuff. Just pick one thing that it's gonna do really well. This whole entire shop right here was built off of just 3 products. The first product was a docking station, and I did millions of dollars in sales with that over years, and I thought it was a coincidence, and maybe I just got lucky, and so I focused on another product and another product for the last couple years, and those have also done millions of dollars in sales. So this CNC right here behind me literally cuts this panel and this panel, the same exact panel that you can get on CSE Workshop, we literally cut on this giant machine every day. So this really cool machine only cuts the same stuff that we cut on that machine and the same stuff that we cut on our smaller machines. It just does it more quickly. We focused on one product, and I guarantee you we can cut out the product we cut out better than anybody else because that's the only thing we do. All our jigs are made like that. All of our focus is that. My marketing is that. My branding is that. Our company is known for the specific product lines that we make. So if you are into awards, right? Only do awards. If you're into gym stuff, right? Make gym equipment, make, deadlift rugs, whatever. Like, only do that. Because the products that we do and we cut out with this machine, I guarantee you nobody can make them better because that's what my sanders know, that's what my machine knows, that's how our marketing goes. We know how to take perfect photography of them. So just stick with one product when starting off. I cannot stress this enough. It is the most important thing that I'm really trying to get across. So I hope that helps. Now let's go into tip number 2. Understanding your machine's competitive advantage. So whether you have a smaller type CNC like this or a larger 4x8 CNC like this, just know that each one has its own competitive advantage and you need to kind of build your business around it. And so this machine right here, I've learned throughout the years, is just as good at V-carving as this machine, where this machine is a lot better at cutting out sheet goods because it's made for it and it's a little bit more rigid, and so it can cut out parts a lot faster than this one. And so when I cut out parts, I cut them out on this machine, and whenever I have to do engravings, I do that on this machine. So how does that apply to you? Well, if you only have a small machine, your competitive advantage is that you have a very low-cost machine that can engrave really well, and I would really focus on that in your business. Is like, okay, well, I can cut out smaller stuff, I can engrave, I can use an 1/8" down cut to hold my materials in place and really utilize this machine because I will say, I am a person with this machine right here, and I have multiple big ones. They're a lot harder to set up and do multiple smaller projects on just because a lot of times you don't have a T-slot table, the machine's big, you have a vacuum table you have to worry about, and this machine right here, you clamp it down, you click go, and it's done. And so even if you have a smaller machine, just know that you can beat these machines as long as you understand what these machines can do and what they're best at, and what a smaller type machine can do, and that's gonna really help your business grow over time. So let's go on to tip number 3. So before I go on to this next tip, I did wanna let you guys know I do have a bonus tip at the end of this video you're gonna wanna stick around for. Now let's go on to tip number 3, sales is king, not efficiency. So where I'm currently standing used to be 2 horse stalls. And when I was a little kid, I used to come to this corner right here and clean water buckets every single Sunday. And every day I'd pick up poop right here and throw it into the wheelbarrow. And then we concreted it and we had these CNCs put in and we had all this clutter start to build up. And believe it or not, this little area right here, we did over $1 million in product sales with in 1 year. And so you're looking, you're like, oh my gosh, there's junk everywhere. It had to look better when you did it. And the answer is no, right? I learned this kind of through happenstance, but when I talk about sales is king, not efficiency, is that most of you guys, you want to get into CNC machining because it's duplicatable, it's scalable, it's all this stuff. You're probably used to being in the software, used to be in the military, and you just love order and efficiency. Well, when you do a CNC-based business, you can have the most efficient business in the world, the most efficient production line, but if there's no sales coming in for that production line to run, then it doesn't matter. Why I'm standing here showing you all this clutter is because, I'm just trying to really bring home that point that it looked like this and we did $1 million in sales and it was okay. Could we have did $2 million in sales if it looked any better? No, because all we did was focus on sales and we maximized the sales and then we worried about efficiency. And we kept trying to do that. And so when you think about your business, you're gonna wanna tweak the CNC and you're gonna make it 100%. And you're gonna wanna make your area so beautiful so it looks like Cat's Moses or Blacktail Studio and all the things are, awesomely organized and it's so like just beautiful. That doesn't help your business grow. What helps your business grow is the sales part. And so I have this phrase, I talked about it a couple videos ago, it's called GETMO, good enough to move on. So just make it good enough to move on, about 90% efficient, and then just move ahead, right? Focus on sales because you cannot run a good business without having money coming in and without those sales. And like I said earlier in this point, you can have the most efficient shop in the world, but if you don't have sales, it doesn't matter. So sales is king, not efficiency. Let's go to the next tip. Tip number 4, make sure your CNC is actually adding value to the product that you're making. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when I was first making my docking stations, there was already 100 different docking station designs out there, but everybody was laser engraving them. And since I knew that not a lot of people had a CNC and I was using my CNC's competitive advantage, I actually used a 60-degree V-bit and carved into the docking station the name or the initials that was gonna go into it. And I highlighted that point. So everybody else is using laser engraver, you can get maybe a little bit more detail, you can do different logos and stuff. But what my competitive advantage and my unique selling point, my value added selling point, because I was using a CNC, was like, look, it's actually carved into the wood. It's never gonna wash away. It goes a 1/4 inch deep. Like, it is actually carved into the wood. And that actually added value over the laser engravers because once again, somebody can just buy a laser engraver for $300 and start competing with you. So if you don't necessarily utilize your CNC's advantage, your competitive edge that CNC has, somebody else can beat you. So that was my way with the docking stations of showing the actual depth of the engraving. Another way you can do it, like instead of doing just a square sign, right? Because somebody with a table saw can, cut a square, put a little arc on the bottom. Because that is really hard for a table saw to do. Now the guy has to bring out their jigsaw, their scroll saw, their bandsaw, and cut that arc. And so if you're doing, instead of just doing a straight square, put a little arc in there, just like that. I mean, it's gonna be, just those little tweaks like that make it a CNC-based product. And when you make it a CNC-based product, your amount of competition goes from here to here because only a small amount of people have a CNC and know how to use it and are actually selling product. And so you want to make sure that you're not competing with everybody else, just like I did with the docking station when I actually engraved it into the thing instead of laser engraving it like everybody else. So make sure you use your CNC's competitive advantage, competitive edge, and make sure that competitive edge actually adds value to the product. Let's go on to the next tip. Tip number 5 is to keep your overhead low. And another way of saying this, bigger is not better. Everything you see behind me looks all well and great. The industrial shop is all well and great, but I will tell you firsthand that this is so much more stressful than when I was just at my parents' horse barn. Like, I was still paying rent over there, still paying taxes, still doing all the due diligence that you normally should, but it costs so much less because all of this stuff that you see is really, really expensive. The taxes on it are expensive. The insurance is expensive. All of the utilities I have to pay for it is very, very expensive. So if you're in your garage and you want to start this business, stay there as long as you possibly can. I made my highest profit margin ever when I was at my parents' house. And so if you're starting a business and you're thinking you look tacky because you're in your garage or you're in your apartment in this little basement, right? Like we did $1 million in sales out of a horse barn. You can do it too. Do not try to go big, right? If you go big, like the saying is, go big or go home. Don't go big, just go home and stay there as long as you possibly can because I can't stress this enough. It is so stressful trying to cover all of this on a daily basis. Now, I was built for this stuff, so I absolutely love it, but I know a ton of people that it's very hard to handle growth and this giant amount of overhead. So just keep it low, don't go big, stay small as long as you possibly can and just let the profits roll in. Tip number 6. It is a business and not a hobby. So this is the biggest thing I see, and this may be controversial, but the best way of explaining this is a hobby, fun comes first and then money. And whenever you have a business, money comes first and then fun. And in my business, I have found a way to have fun making money. So I have the best of both worlds. And I think the most successful business people do that, where they find the fun and enjoy the process. And then you can really grow your business. But this is the biggest shift because I see so many hobbyists that want to start a business and they just wing it just like they wing their hobby. And it's like, that's not going to work, because in the CNC world, there's going to be people out there trying to beat you. There's so many competitors and everybody thinks the market's getting super saturated with all these CNC users. I don't think that's a big deal, because there's still only a very small percentage that's going to really focus and want to turn this into a business. So if you do want to turn it into a business, I am launching CIC Academy pretty soon, where I'm going to help CNC owners that want to make it into a profitable side hustle or a business, or just pay off their machine. I am launching that pretty soon. So check out the link in the description if you want to join CIC Academy. But that mental shift, going from a hobbyist to a business owner mindset, is so important. And just don't wing it, right? You're going to have to put money first. Your passion's going to have to go on the back burner a little bit. Once again, this is a little bit controversial, but it's going to have to go on the back burner a little bit, because you have other stuff to worry about, right? You have stuff to pay for, money to make. And so you're going to have to go a money first mindset, then fun, instead of a fun first mindset, then money. Tip number 7. Make sure your product is scalable. Now, one of the best things about CNCs, it can do repeatable things over and over again. And it is so easy to scale a CNC-based business once you have that one product that you focus on and it starts growing. The problem is, if you design a product in a way that is overly reliant on you, you can't really scale to a large factor, because maybe every order, it takes you over an hour of your own time to help with this order, and you can't train anybody else to help you out. And so that is a definition of something that is unscalable. The best way to think about something that is scalable is, can I train somebody else to do this thing? When I was first starting out, I went to different customers and I'd get all this feedback and I'd custom create this product for them, and I wasn't charging $10,000, I was charging $400. And so, every time I got an order, it took 3 or 4 of my own hours. And when I tried to train other people on it, they just didn't get it. And I couldn't necessarily train them because I was using my own little creative juices. Well, I learned that over time, I started asking myself, when I design something, okay, maybe like my docking station example, for instance, I cut out this docking station, CNC can do that all day long, and the scalable part of it was the customization. And I kept asking myself, how can I design this customization in a way that I can train other people to do it? The answer was, just do initials and a last name, and only copy and paste directly from the customer. So I can easily train somebody to copy and paste and run a 60-degree V-bid on it and click go, right? That's pretty scalable. So as I grew the business, when I first, did my first $10,000, $20,000 in sales, I was involved with 100% of, sanding, cutting, engraving, shipping, right? And as I grew, my percentage that I was involved in the, fulfillment of that product got less and less. And now it's probably less than 1%. I am directly involved of fulfilling that item, because I set up scalable systems that can grow when the business grows. So, when I was only 2 of us, I was involved about 75% of it. When there was 3 of us, I was involved in 60% of the process. And each thing along the way, I've learned to just keep asking myself the question, can I train somebody else to do this thing? Now, one of the secret sauces that you're gonna have is you're so unique because let's say you love whiskey and you know what whiskey lovers want, and so you design products around that. That is great. Keep doing that. That may never be scalable because it involves your own juices. But after the thing is ordered, how long does it take you to help fulfill that, right? If it still takes you an extra 2 hours per order because you're still using your creative juices after it's ordered, then you better be charging a lot for that product, or it's not scalable. It's as simple as that. People like to overcomplicate it. Just make sure whenever you're designing that thing and bringing it to market, make sure that you design it in a way that is scalable and duplicatable, because that's the whole reason you bought a CNC. And now for the bonus tip. And this took me so long to learn, and that is just to ask for help. So I'm asking you guys to comment down below on what you think the most important tip is when starting a CNC-based business, so you can help others along their CNC journey. And that's it, guys. Just remember, you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right.